Hello friends, today I will be discussing about the Nyquist plot stability criteria. Obtaining the stability of a open loop system given by through Nyquist plot. So here I will be considering an example of GSHS is equals to 1 by 1 plus s into 1 plus 2s into 1 plus 3s. So this is the open loop transfer function that is given to us, and we need to find the stability of the system through Nyquist plot. So the way we obtain is through the poles. The poles are the most important part through in the stability analysis of a system. So considering the poles of this, we have the pole set S equal to -1, -1/2 and -1/3. So plotting these are all on the left half of S plane, as we can see due to the minus signs. So plotting this on the on the S plane, we have S plane. This is S plane. We have this points at -1, -1/2 and -1/3. Here we must notice that there is no pole at the origin. So there is no pole at the origin. Now the stability analysis through Nyquist plot consists of two parts, where we find the Nyquist contour or Nyquist path, and then Nyquist plot. First, the path or contour is obtained in the S plane, and it is mapped into the GSHS plane. So first, obtaining the path, we need to find the what we consider is only the right half of the S plane. In Nyquist stability criteria, we only consider the right half of the S plane without considering any of the left half of the S plane, and also the j omega axis is considered at points where the function is analytic. That means where there are no poles of the transfer function. So first we will be constructing the Nyquist plot, and then mapping this to Nyquist plot. So coming back to our S plane, here we can plot the Nyquist contour from omega equal to plus infinity to 0, and from 0 to minus infinity, and all the right half of S plane. I have represented the right half of the S plane through a semicircle of radius r, where r tends to infinity. So I will be covering all of the right half of S plane through this semicircle. If I have a pole at the origin, then this will be somewhat like this. This is how it will be looking. We will not be considering the origin, but a small portion around it will not be considered, and it will be jumping above the origin like this. This part will not be considered, as we'll be seeing in the other examples. So this is the Nyquist contour we have obtained. So we need to plot, we need to map this into GSHS plane. For mapping this into GSHS plane, we need to find the magnitude and phase of this plot. So coming to the magnitude of a plus ib can be written as under root of a square plus b square. These are the essentials that we need to know before going to the plot. And the phase of this will be written as tan inverse of b by a if it is in the numerator. If it is in the denominator, we will be having minus tan inverse of b by a. And then coming back, we know that S equal to j omega. Substituting this S equal to j omega in this equation, we get GSHS equal to 1 by 1 plus j omega into 1 plus 2 j omega into 1 plus 3 j omega. So this is what we obtained after substituting S equal to j omega. Now the magnitude of this plot, magnitude is 1 by under root of 1 plus omega square into under root of 1 plus 2 omega whole square into under root of 1 plus 3 omega whole square. So here 1 square I have written as 1 directly. So this corresponds to this, this corresponds to this, this corresponds to this. Again, phase. Here as all the three factors are in the denominator, we will take a minus sign common and write it as directly tan inverse of omega by 1 plus tan inverse of 2 omega by 1 plus tan inverse of 3 omega by 1. This one is this one, 3 omega, we have written it here. This is b and this is a. And now We have obtained the phase plot, the phase equation and the magnitude equation, and the Nyquist quantum. Now we will be mapping this into now we will be mapping this onto the GSHS plane. So taking the for the mapping, we will be having this GSHS plane with 0 degrees angle, 90 degrees angle, 180 degrees angle and 270 degrees angle. So here in the Nyquist contour we have this part, this part, this part. So I will be dividing it into sections, section 1, section 2 and section 3. So I will have to plot the section 1 first, then section 2 and then section 3. For plotting the section 1, section 2 and section 3, we need to know what are the how the plot varies when I pass through these points. So to find this, we will be taking the help of magnitude and phase equations that we have obtained here. So taking the section 1 for consideration, we have section 1, omega varies from plus infinity to 0. So omega varying from plus infinity to 0, we will get the magnitude by substituting omega values. At infinity, the magnitude plot will be under root 1 by under root of infinity into under root of infinity to under root of infinity will be 1 by infinity, which will be equal to 0. So magnitude at infinity will be 0. And now for the phase we have minus tan inverse of infinity plus tan inverse of infinity plus tan inverse of infinity. Here we need to have these basics. Tan inverse of infinity is 90 degrees. Tan inverse of minus infinity is 270 degrees, or can be written as minus 90 degrees minus infinity. And tan inverse of 0 plus is 0 degrees. Tan inverse of 0 minus is 180 degrees. 0 minus. Now tan inverse of infinity will be 90. 90 plus 90 plus 90 is 3 times 90 is minus 270 degrees to now we will be mapping the now we will be having the magnitude and phase plot for omega equal to 0. Substituting it here, we get magnitude will be 1 by under root of 1 into under root of 1 into under root of 1. So magnitude is 1. And coming to the phase, minus tan inverse of 0 plus tan inverse of 0 plus tan inverse of 0. So for tan inverse of 0 we have 0 degrees angle. So 0 plus 0 is 0, minus 0 is 0 degrees. So 0 degrees. So this is where the plot starts and the plot ends in the section 1. But here the most important point here we need to notice is the angle through which it is going to vary. So the change of angle will be 0 minus of minus 270 degrees, which is equal to 270 degrees. If the angle you obtain after doing this process is positive, then we will be rotating anti-clockwise direction. Since this is 2 minus or 2 plus 270 degrees is positive, we are rotating by anti-clockwise direction. If we obtain, for example, some minus 180 degrees, we will be rotating clockwise by 180 degrees. This is what we follow usually. This we got the anti-clockwise direction for section 1 from here to here. Now section 2, the omega varies from 0 to minus infinity, and here we have an advantage here with the Nyquist plot that we need not repeat all this process back again in section 2, because section 2 can be directly written as mirror image of section 1. Here mirror image of section 1 and section 3. This is an even more easier section, because all of the right where section 2 is this and section 3 is this, all of the right part of a S-plane will be mapping to origin. So this will just be a point of in section 3. Okay, now what we are left with is the plotting mapping of the section on the Nyquist plot. Okay, now we are left with plotting this onto this. So considering the section 1, we have 0 to minus 270 degrees, 0 at an angle of minus 270 degrees to 1 at an angle of 0 degrees. 0 magnitude will be here. Minus 270 to 90 can be written as minus 270 degrees, or 270 degrees can be written as minus 90 degrees. So 0 at an angle of minus 270 degrees will be here, and 1 at an angle of 0 degrees will be somewhere here. Let us suppose 1 at an angle of 0 degrees. 0 at an angle of minus 270 degrees is this point. So we need to move from here to here anti-clockwise direction at 270 degrees for making an angle of 270 degrees total rotation. So I can't move in this way because it will be clockwise. I can't move in this way, it's going to be clockwise. I can't either move in this way because it's going to be clockwise. So I have to move in this direction so as to make it anti-clockwise direction. So moving from here to here will make 90 degrees. Moving from here to here will be making 180 degrees. So for making 270 degrees, I will be moving in this way. And this is what we got section 1. Now section 2 will be mirror image of section 1. So section 2 will be mirror image. It will be looking somewhat like this. This is how it's going to look. This is the obtained Nyquist plot. So here till here one of the part of the problems is over, that is say we were obtaining the Nyquist plot. But now the stability analysis. Okay, now we have the point of intersection here which we don't know, and again we have -1, 0 is the critical point that we consider for stability analysis in Nyquist criteria. So -1, 0 is a point at a unit circle distance at a unit circle distance, that is gain is 1 at this point, and the point is such that the phase is -180 the phase is 180 degrees phase. So this point is what we consider for stability in Nyquist criteria. So -1, 0 will be on this part on here. And the Nyquist plot, the stability is considered as n equal by the equation n equal to p minus z, where p will be number of poles on right half of S plane, z will be number of zeros on right half of S plane. So for a system to be stable, it can be directly said to be it can. So for considering the zeros part of the transfer function, we can say it is unstable if there are any zero on right half of S plane. If there is any zero on the right half of S plane on the open loop transfer function, then the system is unstable always. So for a system to be stable, we have indirectly n equal to p minus 0. So for a system n equal to p is the stability criteria. Now what is this n? N represents number of encirclements. Number of encirclements. So we will be seeing what an encirclement is now. So we consider a point here. So if the Nyquist plot is going around this in this way, in this direction, that is anti-clockwise direction, it is enclosing this part and going in anti-clockwise. So we have n equal to 1. Anti-clockwise direction we will take it as 1. If it is going away in this way, clockwise direction, we have n equal to -1. If there is another loop outside this and going in anti-clockwise direction, we have n equal to 2. If there is another loop outside this side in this direction, again another closed loop in the clockwise direction, we have n equal to -2. If we have a point here such a way that one is in anti-clockwise and other is in the counterclockwise clockwise direction and other is anti-clockwise direction, we have n equal to -1 plus 1, giving rise to 0, n equal to 0. So this is what the concept of encirclement is. So for any problem, n should be equal to number of poles on the right half of S plane. So for this particular problem, from the transfer function given, we have plotted the poles here and we have found them to be on the left half of the S plane only. So number of poles on the right half of S plane will be p equal to 0 for this problem. So what from Nyquist plot, we have to find the number of encirclements, and the number of encirclements if equal to 0, then the system is stable. So this n equal to 0 is obtained from substituting p equal to 0 in this equation, n equal to p. So n equal to 0 is the, for now we have found that n equal to 0 is the stability criteria required for this system to be stable. Now whether it is stable or not, we determine it from the Nyquist plot we have drawn up here. So to find whether this minus 1 comma 0 is encircled 0 times, for this minus 1 comma 0, whether n equal to 0 or not, we need to know whether minus 1 is here or here. So minus, it cannot be here anyway, so we need to know whether it is minus 1 comma 0, where it is inside this point or outside this point. So we need to know what this point is. To know what this point is, here you can see that this is the imaginary axis and this is the real axis, imaginary and real axis. So this is the point where the imaginary part is 0, imaginary part equal to 0. So to find the point of intersection with imaginary, with real axis, we have imaginary part equal to 0. To find the imaginary part, we will to find the real part at this point, we will be proceeding as follows. To find the real part, I will be taking the GSHS given here. From this GSHS equation, we come to know, we have substituted S equal to j omega. So GSHS was obtained to be 1 by 1 plus j omega into 1 plus 2j omega into 1 plus 3j omega, and multiplying all the three factors, I have already written it for the so that it will be time saving. I obtained this as 1 minus 2 omega square minus 9 omega cube plus j into 3 omega square plus 3 omega minus 6 omega cube. So this is what I obtained after multiplying all these things. So here we cannot have a complex number in the denominator. After multiplying with the conjugate on the numerator and denominator side, the conjugate of this is nothing but the real part minus j into imaginary part. So just replacing plus by minus here, we get the conjugate of this, and by multiplying with that conjugate on numerator and denominator, we get GSHS is equal to 1 minus 2 omega square minus 9 omega cube minus j into 3 omega square plus 3 omega minus 6 omega cube by multiplying a complex number and with its conjugate, we get the square of its magnitude, that is 1 minus 2 omega square real part square plus imaginary part square, real part square plus imaginary part square. So for this we need to have imaginary part equal to 0 to find this point. So making imaginary part to 0, here we will get omega into 3 omega plus 3 minus 6 omega square will be 0. So solving this equation on the calculator, I found them to be omega equal to 0, minus 1, minus 0.5 and 1. So these are the points of omega at which it will be intersecting with with the real axis, where imaginary part will be 0. So 0 and 1 are on the right half of the explain, but for corresponding to this point, the real part has already been obtained. These are the 2 points corresponding to 0 and minus 1, 0 and 1 omega. So to this point corresponds to omega equal to minus 0.5. This is the point of interest for us right now. So now we need to know, we have got only the omega. Now we need to know the real part at which it is intersecting with the real part, real axis. So it can be obtained by substituting omega equal to minus 0.5 in this equation. So real part is equals to 1 minus, substituting omega equal to minus 0.5 here, 2 by 4 plus 9 by 8 by 1 minus 2 by 4 plus 9 by 8 whole square plus 3 by 4 minus 3 by 2 plus 6 by 8 whole square. So solving this, I got the real part to be minus 0.1. So this is what we get, the real part. And my point having this on the plot, we have minus 0.1 comma 0 as this point. So our critical point will be somewhere around a long distance away from here, that is 1 comma minus 1 comma 0. So then the Nyquist plot doesn't even touch, doesn't enclose the point here. So number of encirclements n obtained from plot equals to 0. So this n equal to 0 is obtained from the Nyquist plot here, substituted obtained here. So n equal to 0. So whether, let's say whether it is in accordance with our any n value calculated from the calculated directly from right half of zeros and poles equation of the transfer function. N equal to 0 is so we have the stability condition as n equal to 0 as already mentioned. So n obtained from transfer function by observation, and that zero number of zeros on right half of S plane should be 0. We take transfer, we got n equal to 0. So as both are equal, we say that system is stable. Hope you understand this concept, and it's not that not this lengthy. For all the problems I have taken the problem which is more complex, and in my next video I will be considering a plot with a pole at the origin, so you can understand it very well. Keep watching my videos, and any doubts and feedback, please comment. Thank you.